G'day, I'm Grand Omega and welcome to Factorio. I've finally got myself doing this. So, for those who don't know, there are probably not many of them. Factorio is factory building sort of game. You start off with very little, you do your research, you gather resources, build more parts and build more and more automation to build things for you. With the ultimate goal of launching a rocket with a satellite to win the game. But of course you can come up with various little challenges and game modes and all that sort of thing. So a bunch of the presets here. What I'm going to be doing is a Railworld with the marathon expenses. So Railworld, all of the resources are very spread apart, but they're very large. Terrain settings standard, yeah. But normally it's disabled biters, so there's no bite, or not disabled them, but disabled the base expansion of them, so that your train lines don't get invaded. And over here is where the main part of the marathon mode is. So recipe difficulty expensive. It doesn't change up the recipes to require different items, just more of what they normally need. So for gears, instead of just needing a couple of iron plates, you need 4 or 5. And technology price, just to really force a big base, I'm going to bump that up to 10. And to keep things interesting, I want to enable biters, but I'm going to cut them down so expansion distance is not very far, group size, yep. And increase the cooldown to, that's probably overkill really. Let's go with that, and 120 is 2 hours maximum cooldown. So that's the settings that we're going to play with. Let's have a look at what map we will use. If that takes a little while, I'll probably need to update my computer. Oh well. Alright, well the biter bases are fair way away. What have we got? Not... well, you got the iron and copper there that's within spitting distance. A nice big oil area. That must be coal. Geez, that's huge. But it's a little ways away. Because it's already going to be a challenge enough, this mode, so we don't want to really overkill. Let's just hit regenerate a few times to see what happens. Well, that's looking kind of promising. Nice big forest over here. Whoa, is that all stone? Wow, that's a huge deposit of stone with a small bit that looks like it's attached to that iron deposit. So what do we got? We've got plenty of iron around the place. Nice big copper up there. Looks like a little splash of coal there. There's big coal over here. Bless you, whoever that was. Got sizable things. Uranium over there. Well, because of the forest, if we really need to, we've got stuff to burn at least. But that copper doesn't... that coal, sorry, not copper. That coal doesn't look too big. Another lot right the way down there. Oh well. Otherwise, this looks pretty good, I think. So let's go with this. There's the map preview seed. You've seen all the settings. So let's get going. Alright, so the style of video is just going to be what Bentham over at Mangleport Gaming does. So recording an hour or so of footage, then replaying and commentating over it sped up. Which works quite well for the starter games because they're often quite slow. You're just going back and forth for resources. So here, grabbing a bit of coal just to get some automated drilling set up, grab a few trees ready for either burning if need be, or for tools and power poles and all that sort of thing. Just swap my character over to green just for the hell of it. There's no reason to, but I can. And at least that's one of the commands that doesn't stop you from getting achievements if that's what you're going for. So now that we've got a bit of copper to start off with, we'll come over to the iron and get some of that drilling, clear out a bit more. So we need... how much is it? There we go. It's I couldn't see the numbers just then, but yeah, it's a bit more expensive. You're welcome to pause the video and see that if you wish. Each of the stone smelters is 5 stone a piece, so that's rather costly. So while we're getting some iron there, oops. Oh, that's right, I was trying to brighten it up. I'll have to try and remember to do something about that, either in post or get lamps as quick as possible. I apologise. So we've nearly got enough iron. There we go. Got another drill going. And another furnace, so... Oh yeah, that's right, we should go get some more coal, shouldn't we? All the sound effects sound rather funny hearing them sped up. Yeah, just use a wooden chest for this as well. Won't use that for too long. Once we get us enough iron for a second drill, we can have them feeding each other. And why didn't I come back with... Oh well. Back we go again for more coal. So more of this is just back and forth for the moment. So I want to hear your guys' suggestions. I've got 2 ideas in mind for this series. So because of the expensive resource costs and research costs and all that sort of thing, the factory is going to be quite big, and just having a single bus down the middle is not going to be very helpful, or at least the bus is going to be so large that anytime you want to get something, say iron off the main belt, you're going to be ducking under several groups of belts. So that's a bit of a pain in the backside, and it's too much of sort of the same thing over and over again. So 2 ideas. I want to hear what you guys reckon. Can either go with a town style thing like what Bentham and others have done. So anytime we try to mass produce something, it will have its own designated outpost. It will be fed by trains, and each of those little towns or outposts will get named, which you guys, the viewers, can suggest. Alternatively is a large factory with its own or rail network, I should say, going through the middle to transport some of the resources back and forth. The challenge with that, though, will be not clogging the lines, but still transporting enough to have things going. Got my keybinds mixed up a bit. Hit B instead of I. It's going so fast, I'm trying to work out what to say. The red science needs gear, 1 gear and 1 copper plate, but each iron gear needs 4 iron plates, if that makes sense. So a 4-to-1 ratio. And for the first lot of research, it needs 100 red science for the first automation. So that'll give you a bit of an idea on how long that's going to take. Coal, it's a little trick. You just have the burner drills pointing into each other, and they will put coal in each other, and then you can just grab it all out, plonk it where you need to, and they'll just start refeeding themselves. And you can daisy chain up however many you want, or you could just have pairs sitting all across your coal deposit, and it won't make too much of an issue. So here we go, we've got another couple to chain up, and there you go. So those 4 will just start filling each other up. So at least to start with, we won't need as much copper, so we'll just we've got the 1 now, and I believe I put a second one in a bit later on. Iron and stone, more smelters. So for this initial area, it's just going to be enough to get going, so won't bother about making too much in the way of mass production. But if we end up going with the towns, we'll probably turn this one into like the rail depot or something like that. So that'd be a nice little nice little thing for the home base, rather than just sort of starting up all the mass smelting right here. It's a little awkward. It's triple speed, but it still feels it feels too fast to keep up with in terms of talking, but too slow in terms of content or getting things done. Oh well. So ultimately, let me know how the videos are going. If there's anything I need to change, so volume levels, recording speed, well, probably not. Whether video's fine, audio's fine, all that sort of thing. I don't have any real experience with streaming, and YouTube's sort of been hit and miss. So if you've got any words of encouragement, that would be appreciated. So I'm still going through collecting up more iron. What are we up to? Working out costs for boilers. There we go. So now we're making a boiler and a couple steam engines. We'll make a pump somewhere along the line as well. Another burner drill. Oh, yep, some more iron in a moment. There we go. So you can see how fast we're going through iron here as well. Come past, grab some more copper. There we go, now we've got a lab going. Grab some more coal as well. Still no biter bases on the map yet, so still don't know when those guys are going to pay us a visit. It's interesting, so on the, what is it, southeast, bottom right, it's all forest, so the pollution is not getting very far, but on the left, or top left, all of that is desert, so we're probably more likely to get attacked by biters from the left rather than the right. But we'll see how it goes, could be wrong. Some of these sorts of games love to do things that you're not expecting. I had a word then and I lost it. Put some more coal into there. This map was sort of nicely set up in terms of the deposits as well, because you're not trying to cross things over too much. Because some maps you've got one of the deposits will be right in between the other two, if that makes sense. So you'd end up not needing to either cart coal around a copper deposit or something like that. And it just becomes a bit of a nuisance. But coming from that side, it should be fine. We shouldn't get caught up on everything. So here we're putting in our power. I don't know why I didn't make the pipes beforehand, but oh well. So this should be a nice little setup because it's in the trees. Hopefully that will help limit the pollution a bit as well. I'm just lining this up so I'd be able to mirror these boilers and steam engines downwards for the sake of just having the lab down somewhere. Just drop that as well. That one's finished, so we'll push that over there. Grab some more iron after putting in coal, I'm assuming. Yep. Somewhere along the line I will stop making all of those red science packs before getting everything else done. So there we go. You probably have to pause it to see that because that was surprisingly quick. But yeah, it's 100 science pack for the automation, and then from there it's all, everything's more expensive. So I think it's 200 to be able to get the research that has splitters and fast inserters. So yeah, that gives you a bit of an idea as to how long all that's going to take. Alright, we've got some of the research there ready to go. Building a whole lot of belts. Now you wouldn't normally do this, you wouldn't normally just get the coal out of the burner drills, but why not? We don't need that much coal heading over to the boilers, and this will hopefully suffice. Now of course I realise in hindsight that doing that with the drills, just setting them into packs of 2 is not going to work out very well, because the ones that are getting the copper or the coal pulled out of them aren't going to be feeding the other one, if that makes sense. So just checking what deposits we've got. We've got plenty of stone. That's not some coal up north, which is annoying. That massive deposit to the west, that's all that stone. That'll be fun. Yeah, I was contemplating slapping down a blueprint there, but I didn't realise I only had one that had so many furnaces in it. That's a bit more than what we'll need for this starting point, I think. So back and forth, grabbing some more copper. Back to grab some more coal. And somewhere around... No? Oh no, I thought this might have been the point that I realised that it wasn't quite working how I was hoping it would. And this is where I've decided to put the iron deposit, the iron smelting, or at least the initial iron smelting. Usually I end up halving the belts, just marking out the width of a furnace. I know in the past I've done a half belt of or half belt of coal, so that it's just the 2 down the middle rather than having the extra conveyor belts down the outside. And here we go. Now I've worked out that it's not working how I thought it would. So... Oh no, I thought I spun them around the first time. Oh well. I'll fix that up at some point. So, simple little setup. Goodness me. Grab some more iron. You can see how much iron you just chew through so quick. It's quite remarkable, actually. You chew through it so fast in a normal game, but you don't really think of it. And then when you do something different like this, you sort of realise that, yeah, you go through some insane amounts really, really quick. So here we're sending off a line to go get some coal. And... oh yeah, we need to wait for the first lot of research to be done, I think, before we can get long-armed inserters. Yep. Another tree for some reason. Here we go, now we're getting some electric mining drills going. So we'll put them onto iron first, I think. I'm trying to remember. Yep, here we go. There they go. Cut down the last couple of trees that are in the way. Why did I come back over here? Oh yeah, all the copper. The coal even. So just throw that on the line, ready to go. And at least that gives a bit of buffer between needing coal and getting iron smelting. Yeah, at least that's quick. I probably could have just put it into a chest and had it all dug out like that. So with this area, in hindsight, I probably should have just had them all lined up properly and had stone being filtered off. Goodness me. Here we go, here comes this line. Thankfully, I have just enough iron to get this started. Get some power lines in. Not enough lines, but match that up. Come on, what are you doing? Oh, still have coal in my inventory, so just empty that out. Get some more poles. And I forgot to get rid of the steam overlay. Oh well. Whoever that was is now known by people. Oh yeah, and I didn't even notice that the research was going. But here we go, we have iron that is now being smelted. Of course, only on the one side because we don't have long-armed inserters yet. And I realised that if I do it that way around, what have I done there? There we go. Pardon me. I can just put the drills like that, rather than mucking about. Somewhere along here, I will realise that this is only putting a small amount of iron available, or leaving it available. Where are we going now? Checking on coal. Now I realise that that's buggered up. But I don't think I fixed that up properly. Oh well. Put in a whole lot more belts. Yeah, come on past me, work that out. Much more irons needed. Gathering more of that. That's the biggest pain. You need so much iron right at the start. So you think you've got enough with a few hundred, even in normal mode, without all this expensive resource costs. Quick save. Yeah, you think you have enough, but then you find out pretty quick that nope, you need a lot more than you think. And research is done. So what do we go with? There we go. That was real quick, but that one cost 200 red science packs. Here we go. Now I've realised that it'd be better to have them all going into a chest so I can just run along and collect it all. But a single inserter is not quick enough for, what is that, 4 machines? And there we go. Now we've got some long-armed inserters. So at some point I go and fix that up. I think I put the next lot of long-armed inserters in before I fix that. But, oh well, we'll find out. I can't remember exactly what past me did. That now seems to be working properly. And for some reason I start doing that first. Good grief! I pardon me. I should have watched this before commentating. Goodness, short memory. Either way, iron ore is all backed up and ready to go. So now here we go. We've got some long-armed inserters. Bring that around so that all of the rest of the iron will get put into that chest. But of course, one on one side doesn't work. And now, of course, we got that in the way. Shift that over, put that in, and another inserter. So now that's being loaded from 4 sides. But still not quite quick enough. Oh well, we will... It's a temporary solution. We'll fix that up at some point in the future. Oh, good grief. This is certainly something different than what I've normally done. Here we go. Now taking power over to the coal. And we're out of iron again. And copper's run out of coal. Ah, yes. So now that we have automation, we can automate the creation of red science packs. And I thought I did that before sorting out coal, but obviously not. I'm grabbing even more iron. So what we will need to do... Okay. I don't remember doing that. Here we go. Get some more copper going. And just split that evenly. Since the furnaces don't use as much as the drills, I thought it'd be better to put more in the drills rather than the furnaces. Now, we're back up here. We've got our assemblers, and I just needed to work out which way around everything needed to be so that we can just put iron and copper into one chest, and it will put everything together that we needed it to. So it will send iron into the gear assembler, and then the gears will get put into the red science assembler along with taking the copper out of the chest, and then the completed red science packs will be put into the lab. So we could probably speed that up by making a second lab and having red science packs transferred from lab to lab, but we'll probably do that next video. If at all, we might completely change that up, since green science probably won't be too far away. So I think, oops, the sound has died. I forgot about that. Had a bit of an issue during recording, so unfortunately, I will need to work out how I'm going to stop that from happening again. And quickly get that line swapped over so that it's not being... Everything from the electric drills isn't on the one side of the line. It gets a little awkward sometimes, doesn't it? That's what makes Factorio fun. You've got to come up with some bizarre yet creative solutions for things. And that's why people come up with these different modes. So, what am I doing now? I realise that I don't need all that stone, but... Ah, here we go. I'm getting some more furnaces so that I can set up some copper smelting, even though I don't have splitters for the coal. Yeah, I sort of stuffed that up a little bit, but oh well. And there is plenty of coal on the line there for the boilers. I think there's a couple of times where I check the power, and I do still have enough, thankfully. So checking from the edge of the copper, I've now worked out where I can have the outside line with the actual plates so that it's not going to interfere with the deposit itself. Put in the ore and coal lines, put in the rest of these, and I miscounted everything because I needed to make 8 of the 8 of the furnaces. I'm forgetting the words. 8 of the furnaces, because there was already 2 available on the copper, which I think, yes, I did leave, and then I realised and cancelled things. So let those finish smelting before putting them into place. Put in some more inserters, make some long-armed inserters, and we'll have one side of them going. Chest, inserters into it. That one's nearly done. Grab some more iron. Never enough iron. And whoop, what happened to my frame rate? Alright, so the frame rate didn't actually die in the game, it was just my video recording. That was confusing. So, where are we up to? We're grabbing the last furnace. Now that that's finished, putting that in place. We've got all but the long-handled inserters. There we go. Put the last few on that, as well as power. And at least now, once we get some copper going to it, it'll have somewhere to store it. Grab some more iron yet again and cobble something together so that at least we get some coal down the line. Eventually go back there. Here we go. No. I was clueless as I always was. Oh, we'll just throw the coal on the line there. Yes, it works. Good grief. Alright, I was just marking up whereabouts the top of the deposit is, so that way we're not wasting too much space. We're trying to be as efficient as possible. Hook that up to power, and now we've got some coal going in, and some of them, or most of the furnaces, should have at least some coal to get started. Come back. Yep, that's all working fine. That last one's not getting anything. So eventually, here we go. We'll just put down a couple, well, one for now, but a couple of electric, what do they call them? Electric inserters? I've already lost the name. Some more of them. Keep the supply going. Hook that all up as well. There's the rest of the inserters. So now there's going to be plenty of coal coming in. And now we've got a copper supply that is not going to run out of coal automatically, hopefully. Throw some more resources in there, and it is time to finish off. So thank you for watching. I hope you'll join me for the next video. Later.